Greetings, Namo Buddhaya. I am K.T.S. Rao, former professor and head of the Department of Buddhist Studies, Delhi University. In this module number 15, I shall be talking about dissent and protest in early Indian Buddhism with special reference to Devdatta. The Buddha is known to have encouraged his followers, particularly the members of the Sangha, to question and debate whenever in doubt. Thus, one is not surprised to see differences of opinion among monks on questions of religious practice and doctrine. There are accounts of monks whose practices varied in different locations. For instance, whereas majority of the monks at the Buddha's time lived in monasteries on the outskirts of human habitations and regularly interacted with the laity, there were some monks who preferred to live in isolation in the forests and practiced austerities. In the Buddha's own lifetime, there were instances of dissent and protest against his teachings as well as leadership of the Sangha by his own disciples. The case of Devdatta is one such example. Now, Devdatta, who joined the Buddhist Sangha when the Buddha visited Kapilvastu shortly after enlightenment, appears to have begun his monastic career quite impressively. During the very first rainy season, Devdatta acquired the power of Iddhi, that is, psychic powers or Riddhi in Sanskrit. Consequently, the prestige of Devdatta grew tremendously and he came to acquire great respect within the Sangha. Even the Buddha counted him as one of those 11 elders who were particularly praiseworthy. In fact, the Buddha went so far as to call Devdatta as the one who had put away evil and destroyed the fetters. But after this, we are told in the sources that Devdatta began to have evil designs and became not only jealous of the Buddha, but also began to entertain ambitions to take his place. However, at this point, his psychic powers are said to have diminished. For the fulfillment of his desire to take up the leadership of the Sangha, we are told Devdatta approached the Buddha and pointed out to him that as he was getting old, he should let Devdatta assume leadership of the Sangha. The Buddha is said to have right away rejected his request and snubbed him for entertaining such thoughts. Devdatta felt dejected and threatened revenge. The Buddha thereafter, we are told, he told the monks to carry out the following formal act of information against Devdatta in Rajgah. Whereas Devdatta's nature was formerly of one kind, now it is of another kind, and that whatever Devdatta should do by gesture or by voice, in that neither the awakened one, nor dharma, nor the order should be seen, but in that only Devdatta should be seen. The act being carried out, the Buddha asked Sariputta to inform against Devdatta in Rajgah. When Sariputta expressed hesitation because he had formally spoken in praise of Devdatta, the Buddha allowed that just as Sariputta's former praise had been true, now his condemnation will be equally true. When Sariputta proclaimed the act of information in Rajgaha against Devdatta, it resulted in protest by some of the lay devotees of Devdatta who accused the followers of the Buddha of being jealous of Devdatta's gains and honors. After this incident, Devdatta is said to have turned into a complete antisocial character and is said to have decided to assassinate the Buddha. In order to murder the Buddha, we are told, Devdatta enlisted the support of Crown Prince Ajatashatru, whom he had impressed with the display of his supernatural powers. Ajatashatru agreed to provide him with archers to shoot the Buddha fatally. But the assassins were dissuaded from their intended act by the charisma, insight and kindness of the Buddha. After this, Devdatta is said to have tried to kill the Buddha by rolling down a boulder onto him from a hilltop. Though the boulder is miraculously destroyed, splinters from the boulder drew blood from the Buddha's foot. Having failed again, he sets a mad killer elephant on the Buddha, but the Buddha tames the elephant through his loving kindness. So, according to the sources, attempts to kill the Buddha led to an outrage and public unpopularity of Devdatta. Ajatashatru was also compelled by the force of public opinion to withdraw his patronage from Devdatta, whose gain and honor anyway had decreased according to the sources. We are told in the sources that these plans of Devdatta to harm the Buddha were the result of the Buddha's bad karma in his previous births. In any case, despite the hatred shown by Devdatta towards him, the Buddha on his part did not harbor any ill will towards him. After having failed to kill the Buddha, we are told Devdatta, along with his 4 other companion monks, goes to the Buddha and makes a request to him that 5 austere practices, dhuttas, be imposed on the Sangha and that their violation be treated as sinful. And these 5 practices were that monks should dwell all their lives in the forest, monks should all their lives obtain alms by begging and not accept invitations for meals, monks should all their lives wear robes made of discarded clothes, monks should all their lives dwell at the root of a tree, monks should all their lives abstain completely from fish and flesh.